The story of Master Tanluan. Buddhism in China reached the first apex of its development some 1,500 years ago, during the Northern and Southern dynasties period. Many renowned monks and savants traveled from India and the western regions to China. One of the best known was Bodhidharma, who crossed the Yangtze River. He established Chen Buddhism in China. China itself produced many eminent monastics. Most influential among them was Master Tanluan, a lineage master of the Pure Land school. Master Tanluan was a man of the Northern Wei dynasty during the Southern and Northern dynasties. Born in Yanmen, Shaanxi province, he lived near Mountain Wutai, one of Buddhism's sacred mountains. Since childhood, he had been hearing mystical tales about Mountain Wutai. He looked forward to going there. Tanluan left home at 14 to tour Mountain Wutai. He sought the footsteps of immortals. Before long, he took monastic vows at Foguang Monastery. The master was well versed in the classics and the principles of the Buddha nature. His knowledge was advanced. The emperor dubbed him the Divine Lan. Later, as he was writing a commentary on the Great Collection Sutra, Tanluan fell ill, so he went outside to see a doctor. As Tanluan passed the tomb of the first emperor, he saw a panorama of the 6 heavens of the realm of desire with clear details. Miraculously, he recovered right away. The experience made the master feel that the body was only a tool. He resolved to find the secret of immortality, practice accordingly, and then propagate the Dharma. He heard that Tao Hongjing, a sage of the Southern dynasty, was living in the Mao Mountains, near the Yangtze River. He traveled a long way to meet him. The two enjoyed their discussions. Tao the Hermit gave Tanluan the 10 scrolls of the Immortality Classic. Returning to the north, the master sought renowned mountains where he could cultivate immortality. In Luoyang, he encountered Tripitaka, Master Bodhiruchi, who had arrived from India. Bodhiruchi scoffed at the idea of cultivating immortality. The Indian master gave Tanluan a copy of Treatise on Rebirth in the Pure Land. The master was jilted awake. He burned the Immortality Classic and turned his mind towards the Buddha's teachings. Treatise on Rebirth was an important work by Bodhisattva Vasubandhu of India. This is the treatise in the 3 sutras and 1 treatise of Pure Land Buddhism. Tanluan studied it repeatedly. After mastering its meanings, he wrote a commentary titled Commentary on the Treatise on Rebirth in the Pure Land. It was the first work in China to explicate systematically the Pure Land path. Later, It was hailed as a wondrous text of the Pure Land School. The Master extensively taught the Pure Land path in the Shaanxi region. He urged his followers to recite the name of Amitabha Buddha and be reborn in the Western Pure Land. There were worldly gentlemen who did not understand his meaning and reproached him. Tanluan replied, "I am an ordinary person, lacking in wisdom. I must fasten my mind to something. How could I have no goal, no sense of direction?" Metaphorically speaking, it's like a person feeding a cow. If the grass is placed in a fixed spot every time, the animal would focus its attention there. Others may regard him as the Divine One, but the Master considered himself an ordinary being with heavy karmic offenses. In his mind, while sentient beings all had Buddha nature, it was clouded by ignorance and afflictions. They were still ordinary beings. So Tanluan chose the Pure Land path, as it was the one Shakyamuni Buddha taught to ordinary beings. Through it, they could achieve nirvana without having to eradicate their afflictions. Skeptics asked, lifetime after lifetime, ordinary beings accumulate lots of negative karma. How could they, just by reciting Amitabha's name, leave the three realms and be reborn in the Pure Land? The Master cited a metaphor. Take a darkened room, which has been dark for 1,000 years. If sunlight enters it one day, won't the darkness be dispelled? Amitabha's name has the function of eliminating the ignorance and bad karma of sentient beings. It doesn't matter how much they have or how long they have had them. So the Master explained the principle behind the rebirth of ordinary beings as their reliance on other power. That is, the karmic power of Amitabha Buddha's great vows. Tanluan drew another metaphor, focused on a physical weakling who could not even mount a donkey. Even so, if he followed a Chakravarti king, he would be able to tour the world on his jeweled wheel. When he was teaching the Dharma, the Master urged listeners to believe in Buddha power and to rely on it. They should have faith that would determine their rebirth in the Pure Land and not undercut themselves. One night, Bodhisattva Nagarjuna appeared in mid-air to Tanluan in the form of a sacred monk. He told the Master his life was near an end. So the Master bathed and changed his robes, assembling his 300-odd monastic and lay disciples. That very night, he gave his final discourse. The assembly recited the name of Amitabha Buddha. As the sun rose, Master Tanluan was reborn in the Pure Land. He was 67. Those present saw flower-covered banners in the air and heard music coming from the west. Tanluan was an extremely important lineage master in the history of the Pure Land School. For the first time, he brought the Pure Land path into the lives of ordinary people. The Master inherited the Pure Land, thought of India's Bodhisattvas Nagarjuna and Vasubandhu. He taught concepts such as rebirth for ordinary beings, other power and Amitabha's fundamental vow, and rebirth without the termination of afflictions. He laid firm foundations upon which Master Shen Dao would later establish the Pure Land School. Thank you. Namo Amitabha Buddha.